we also saw the time. Was it matching?
Yes. Yes.
More or less it was matching, although I don't think that this took 28 minutes, yeah? Obviously not. How many minutes did this take?
15.
15. And we would probably do it one more listen time because I would want more students to have the opportunity to be successful. So it's only 1 minute and 30 seconds, 31 seconds to be exact. So that would be, if it was 15 minutes, we could add a little bit more time. So it would be like 17 minutes instead of 28, okay? So as observers, how would you get me to change the time? What question could you ask? Or maybe
Are
what
you
statement
sure?
could you make?
Maybe don't you think it would be better to include a bit information, reading information, for example, about Southwest of the USA or country music, and then do the listening?
And then do the listening? Okay. That would be interesting. I think the first thing we might want to ask though is like again about the objective, right? Because the objective is to get the vocabulary prepared for the reading. So that's one possibility, to have it switched. That's totally plausible as a teaching, to have a different kind of introduction to the country music. It's possible. What else?
Just like a question, are you sure it's enough, or are you sure you're able to
Wonderful
make the teacher
activity.
think about the time?
Okay.
Because you pose a question and the teacher tries to analyze whether the timing was right or not. With my question, are you sure it is enough?
Great. Yeah. So you could ask, are you sure that this is 28 minutes? Have you timed it before and it was 28 minutes? Because when I watched you, it was only 15. Right? So that would not be too aggressive, right?
Or maybe, why don't you use less time for this activity? Can we ask so? Why don't you use?
Okay. I might say, because why don't you? I think it would be okay to say why don't you use less time for the activity, but we could say it also in a different way. If you use less time for this activity, it will give you more time to do something else. Like there's no closing activity, right? If this was really a 30-minute lesson, it's not. It's actually an hour-and-a-half lesson. But if this was really a 30-minute lesson, it would be like, okay, bye, you know, and it would be very sudden. So why don't you, if you use less time for this activity, why don't you use less time for this activity so that maybe you could add something here, or you don't have a closing activity, so maybe you could take some time from here. Right? That wasn't really a question though, was it? Okay, anything else?
If we assume that these might be new words for the children, you decided not to use pictures on purpose, or just in order to help them understand it by listening?
Yeah, actually, that was a great question. When I do this, there are pictures to stimulate the discussion of a journey, but oftentimes when I do this, I've never met them before. And so we do 20 questions so that we're pretending I'm getting to know them by understanding what they like and what they don't like. And then we talk about the words, and then later we have pictures, but not immediately. Immediately I'm also assessing what their level is, right? So if they're having problems with these questions and understanding the questions and the vocabulary, I automatically know that I have like 2 different lessons, a medium lesson and a more beginning lesson. So this can be done by even beginning students. I shouldn't say beginning students, like the students that I've worked with had a fairly low level, but they know many of the words. Like they know 1 hour, they know bus, they know marshrutka. It's not so hard. So basically, whether or not they catch on and they can hear in the music the actual words, I'm assessing their listening to see which of the, am I going easier or am I going harder with them in terms of the actual lesson that I do. But that's a good point. Like, if it were a class that I knew, absolutely. What else?
There were some words that were highlighted in the questions. What was the reason for that?
Oh, these, the questions that were bolded, it does say, the questions in bold are related to the theme or topic. So the song is about a journey, and it also has, like, hot dog is in the song, traveled is a journey, another way to say journey, right? And highway is in the song, curvy, U-turn, mountain, country music, and commercial is in the song. So country music is about country music. This was country music. But that's a nice question. Anything else?
How can students be confused that they have different parts of speech in the same, I don't know, new words but different parts of speech? For example, sound and word. How could we explain that song and watch notes like sing and watch?
Personally, I don't think it matters. Because I'm also, if they know it's past tense, then I know a level already in grammar, right? And then it also indirectly reviews what's the past tense of saying, sung. So somebody in the class always knows. But that would be a good question if there were issues with, like, if that was an issue, that's a great question. Does that make sense? But in this actual activity, because they're all in a song and it's about listening and hearing the words, it's not about the part of speech. That's not the focus. In the next activity, if I wanted to do grammar with them, I might have different words up here or ask them to identify what part of speech each word is. Does that make sense? Yeah, but that's also a good question. So I feel confident you all know the questions now and good ways to ask. Could you go back to the PowerPoint for me? I just want to leave you, click, we practiced, click, with the teacher toolkit is a nice resource I have been using. And you'll see that they actually have the talk and walk activity that we talked about in terms of creating a community environment for ourselves in our workspace, but for students. And they have students actually using it, and there's a video that you can watch on what it looks like when they use it. Obviously this is click for me. And then later, it talks about how to use it. Prepare and poise, walk and talk, freeze, discuss, and then how and when to use it. So this website is really nice. The other websites that I wanted to show you, okay, could you, let's do this one. No, sorry, this one. Okay, so you know how much I love TED Talks. So, oh, it didn't actually load. That's interesting. Can you go down? Yeah, oh, stop. Thank you. So this name right here, I don't even know how to pronounce it. What do you think? Nilofer? Nilofer, maybe? Merchant. Got a meeting, take a walk. So it's a very short TED Talk, and it kind of talks about some of the research that's been done recently about talking and walking meetings. So I think based on our discussion today, maybe you might like to watch it and see what she has to say. Okay, and then the final one that I'm going to show you is walking meetings, so feet first. So if you feel like you might have issues with whoever at, like the director or this person or that person in terms of asking for your meetings to actually be walking meetings, or to have talk and walk structured into your teacher meetings, you might encourage people to look at this website to kind of sell them on the idea. Because if we go down, you'll see that we have walking meetings, what they offer. Here's the woman again, keep going down. The purposes and benefits of the meeting. So it really breaks it down into a lot of detail that would hopefully convince people who are not convinced to have talking and walking meetings to do that. It really makes them more effective according to the research. Okay, and if you go down, they have, a little bit, stop, yeah, perfect. So they actually have, like, what do you do if it's one-on-one meeting, what if you do if it's 3 to 5 people, and all the way up to 16 or more. So they really break it down into kind of like a science about how do you do it if there's this many people, or this many people. So I encourage you to look at it. If you'll go up again for me, thank you so much. Keep going. feetfirst.org is the website. Okay, so we've got activities, we've got resources, and we're done. Apologies, I think I'm a bit late on the schedule, but I really appreciate your attention. It's absolutely fantastic to be back here in Kiev with you. I missed you all very, very much. Greetings to people who are new. I hope that you come back and look into some of our activities. We have a movie club. Are you doing a book club? There's a book club. There's just the movie club. Okay. And discussion clubs. There's just a lot of activities. There's a lot of resources. You can look through some of the book club books that we had over the past 2 years. They're great books. And thank you very, very much for your time and attention. I appreciate it. Everything. Any last questions, comments, or concerns?
When you'll come back.
Next time you see Kevin, ask. I hope very soon. I talked to him. We were just running a camp in up north near Chernobyl. It was a town nearby. I can't remember. Slavansk? Yes. So he's fine with me coming back. We just have to see about my Georgia schedule and whether or not there's funding. But hopefully, I hope to be back at least once or twice in the spring. We'll see. Fingers crossed. Thank you all very much.